So today we'll go over some personal updates, some really fun, exciting stuff. I'm feeling super blessed with everything that's been going on, even despite this challenge that's living in my lungs right now. I told it it's only got a couple days and then it's got to go. But it's a good lesson for me. I have been kind of going on turbo for a couple weeks, and now the universe is asking me to sit and reflect. And in fact, I realized that, if you've ever done a medicine journey, and you do it in a ceremonial way, it's very much a sitting and going inside process. And so I was laying in the dark and healing myself, and doing myself Reiki and imagining sacred geometry and things like that, things that help me feel peace when the inside of me is doing a whole battle. And I realized, this is a little bit like its own journey. This is a little bit like I'm really kind of forced to sit and be with myself and reflect. So I've chosen to alchemize this situation and really make it into a benefit, make it into a time that I get to sit and reflect, which is a great segue to Shaman Church. Shaman Church is, the basic concept is just taking an hour a week to show gratitude, remember gratitude. I think we've all shared at one time or another, when Thanksgiving comes around every year, we think to ourselves, why aren't we this grateful all the time? Why aren't we showing gratitude all the time? And it's a good concept, and it's something that you can practice with or without an event. However, I feel like this is an opportunity to do that once a week, to look back at the week and say, hey, you know what, we survived. No matter what life threw at us, we probably completed some tasks, maybe some little, some huge. Maybe you broke through something. Maybe you've been working on something for days, weeks, months, years, and you broke through. So this is a good time to show some gratitude for yourself. Gratitude for Mother Earth, always, right? Mother Earth, this is a typical shamanic practice, regardless of what continent or tribe you hail from. It's a typical universal teaching and belief that Mother Earth is just this giving creature. No matter how bratty we are as a society, no matter how silly we are as humans, Mother Earth doesn't cut off our air supply. She doesn't cut off our food supply, our water. She just gives and gives and gives. And so does Father Sky, so does the sun, our angels, our ancestors, our guides. They always show up for us no matter what stage of our process that we're in. So before we are grateful for our careers and our family and our accomplishments, which I'm not saying we shouldn't be, but before that, just the fact that we have this birthright to receive air for free and food and water given to us selflessly by the earth and the sky, I think that's a really good way to just get back into gratitude without having to take any extra steps in life. It's just taking that moment to breathe and go inside and reflect and say, just because I'm alive, I'm receiving all these beautiful gifts every single day. And that's kind of a ritual that I like to kind of burning lungs, burning head. And I was talking with the owner. I did a couple sound checks this morning. We've got the sound bowl set up. This is a new thing, and I'll talk about that in our updates really quick today. I have our set list. I always like to have an idea of what I want to talk about. And then, you just let Spirit take you wherever the Spirit wants to go. So originally, we were supposed to meet up in person at Sacred Energy Empowerment Center. And then I got the first bug that I've got in 3 years. I've been had a cold in 3 years. So I'm remembering gratitude, which is what today's talk is going to be about. I'm grateful. I had a really good run, and I'm pretty functional now. My poor babies, they had like a 103 fever for almost a week. It seems to only really get me at night. It just makes sleep really tough, kind of burning lungs, burning head. And I was talking with the owner of Sacred Energy, Janet, and and it was just kind of a joke. And I said, we want to create events that people can heal from past things, right? A healing event, not an event that's going to create the need for healing. So I couldn't, in good conscience, create a community event and then show up and share this with them. I wouldn't share a cold with an enemy, let alone my fellow pathwalkers. So today we'll go over some personal updates, some really fun, exciting stuff. I'm feeling super blessed with everything that's been going on, even despite this challenge that's living in my lungs right now. I told it it's only got a couple days and then it's got to go. But it's a good lesson for me. I have been kind of going on turbo for a couple weeks, and now the universe is asking me to sit and reflect. And in fact, I realized that, if you've ever done a medicine journey, and you do it in a ceremonial way, it's very much a sitting and going inside process. And so I was laying in the dark and healing myself, doing myself Reiki and imagining sacred geometry and things like that, things that help me feel peace when the inside of me is doing the whole battle. And I realized, this is a little bit like its own journey. This is a little bit like I'm really kind of forced to sit and be with myself and reflect. So I've chosen to alchemize this situation and really make it into a benefit, make it into a time that I get to sit and reflect, which is a great segue to Shaman Church. Shaman Church is, the basic concept is just taking an hour a week to show gratitude, remember gratitude. I think we've all shared at one time or another, when Thanksgiving comes around every year, we think to ourselves, why aren't we this grateful all the time? Why aren't we showing gratitude all the time? And it's a good concept, and it's something that you can practice with or without an event. However, I feel like this is an opportunity to do that once a week, to look back at the week and say, hey, you know what, we survived. No matter what life threw at us, we probably completed some tasks, maybe some little, some huge. Maybe you broke through something. Maybe you've been working on something for days, weeks, months, years, and you broke through. So this is a good time to show some gratitude for yourself. Gratitude for Mother Earth, always, right? Mother Earth, this is a typical shamanic practice, regardless of what continent or tribe you hail from. It's a typical universal teaching and belief that Mother Earth is just this giving creature. No matter how bratty we are as a society, no matter how silly we are as humans, Mother Earth doesn't cut off our air supply. She doesn't cut off our food supply, our water. She just gives and gives and gives. And so does Father Sky, so does the sun. Our angels, our ancestors, our guides, they always show up for us no matter what stage of our process that we're in. So before we are grateful for our careers and our family and our accomplishments, which I'm not saying we shouldn't be, but before that, just the fact that we have this birthright to receive air for free and food and water given to us selflessly by the earth and the sky, I think that's a really good way to just get back into gratitude without having to take any extra steps in life. It's just taking that moment to breathe and go inside and reflect and say, just because I'm alive, like I'm receiving all these beautiful gifts every single day. And that's kind of a ritual that I like to start my day out with. If you're not familiar with shamanic practice, this probably looks pretty weird, right? You got all these funky colors and sound bowls and sage and hape, and this is pretty normal for me. And if you've ever been in cacao, hape, or medicine ceremony with me, you're probably like typical. So I like to surround myself with these things. I like to surround myself with these beautiful things all the time. Kind of helps me balance out all of the chaos that we're being exposed to in the world every day. Just reminds me there's beautiful things too. So yeah, we'll be playing bowls today. They do, even very lightly, they get loud. So I'm hoping that they're not going to distort the mic too much, but we'll see. I may have to, in the future, suspend the mic from a distance or something, because even very lightly when I touch these, especially 2 at a time, they create this harmonic vibration. And these 2 notes create 3 or 5 notes. And whether I mean for them to get louder or not, that's just how harmonic vibration works. That's science. So if you haven't researched sound healing, look into it. Light's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but light absorbs into your skin and it bounces right off. Sound goes right through you. If you think about how whales can communicate underwater for 60 to 100 miles, it's because water is more dense and our body is mostly water. So sound healing can go right into the bone marrow and through. So really good at clearing and opening spaces. I'm really excited. And these are brand new. These are actually a surprise. Yeah, so that's kind of what we're going to go over today. And then if you guys have any questions at the end, please feel free to ask them. So personal updates. I already talked about my cold. We don't need to talk about that. Here's an awesome breakthrough. Now, my life is not that linear. My life is very much like living in an ocean of energy, and it changes all the time, which is why I don't update people all the time, because it's probably overwhelming for others. I like to focus on results. Like when I have something in physical manifestation, it's always neat to be able to be like, here's what happened, here's how I handle it, here's the result. So one of our first manifestations is, you've probably been following a little bit, my car was stolen back in September, late September. Got a new car, so Daisy, we love you, but we sent her home. We sent her to another place, and I was lucky enough to manifest a new Pathfinder with all these bells and whistles and heated seats and remote start, like stuff I don't even know what to do with. So through alchemy, through my own process, and of course the support of the community, don't let me forget that at all. But through shifting out of fear and out of stress into creation and acceptance, I was able to manifest that. Now, along the way, we had t-shirts that were made for Lotus, and for whatever reason, whoever stole my car, which by the way, it got road spiked in a high-speed chase, whoever stole my car didn't take the time to take my laptop, but they took 100 out of these 400 shirts. So I've been looking for a solution to replace them. Normally you would say, okay, well, we just need to reprint them, right? Well, with Christmas upon us, the costs were way too high, and we were looking at like not seeing them for about a month. So I used to own a t-shirt company for the better part of my 20s. So I went online and I got all the equipment and I actually just took the time to make them. So I took matters into my own hands, and instead of updating people, I just wanted to get it done. And I actually made this last night, and I did an experiment with one, and I already washed it. So they're there. We have them. So whoever supported the fundraiser, thank you for supporting it. Thank you for being so patient. You guys do get to have your t-shirts. Now here's the bonus, because you waited and it's Christmas, holidays. I also happened to figure out how to make the crystal grid. Ta-da! Which also doubles as a bandana. So if you go to Burning Man every year, you know what the sand is like. So you can actually rock this bad boy like so. Or get your favorite crystals and you can put them in this guy. Drop your crystals into here like a little pocket. Boop. And then bundle it up, throw it in your backpack, go up to the mountains, have yourself a little ceremony. So yay, crystal grids. And so we have these screens. I have the Flower of Life, the Metatron, and of course the Lotus. So you guys can be expecting those soon. Not only that, But I have plenty of decals to choose from. I promise you guys decals. So I've got some Hamsa's Teach Peace and about, I don't know, a billion others to choose from. I'll send some photos, I'll put them on Facebook, and that way you guys can choose, okay? I'd also love to do a really cool Christmas present for my son. I'd like to sell some of those, have you guys Venmo him, not me, and then I'll ship them to you, or you can pick them up. Last but not least, I'm giving you guys, everybody who supported the fundraiser, I'm giving you guys a free copy of my children's book, something I wrote like 7 years ago, and I actually just published last year myself, and it's about the beauty of life. Even though life can be a challenge, it's always important to remember it's a gift. So that's the update on that. Shamanzo.com. I've gone through 3 different platforms this year. I finally found the one that I love, and if you guys have been in any of my courses before, I'm giving you guys free access to the new courses and the updated versions. And then, of course, we have Shaman Church. So if you can't be here, I will actually be updating, recording these and putting these on a podcast. And then I bought the URL shamanchurch.love, www.shamanchurch.love. And that's where I'll have, every week we'll post these if you happen to miss them. Okay. So again, if you're not familiar with shamanic practice, usually what I like to do is I open my day and I open my journeys and my ceremonies with the 7 directions prayer. And normally I will get up and I will actually bow and put my head to the earth. Because I've found if I don't humble myself that the universe will do it for me. So this is a humbling process. It's a gratitude process. And it's very simple. So normally you would face east, which is this way. This is where the sun rises, right? And then you'll go clockwise as the sun spins. So I'll wake up in the morning, and before I start my day, I'll simply say, thank you, ancestors, guides, and angels of the east, and then bow. Thank you, angels, guides, and ancestors of the south. Thank you, angels, guides, and ancestors of the west. Thank you, angels, guides, and ancestors of the north. Thank you, Father Sky. Thank you, Mother Earth. And thank you, the soul that resides within my heart. And these are the 7 directions: north, south, east, west, up, down, inside. I highly recommend doing that because it only takes a few minutes each day, and it will put you in a place. It will shift your energy immediately. And it also allows us to recognize and open those channels with our ancestors. I was sharing with one of my friends in a session how our ancestors are our keepers. And he had never heard anyone put it in this way before. So I'll share you how I shared the lesson with him. And simply put, if you're an angel, right, you are watching your great-great-great-great-grandfather, granddaughter suffering, would you want to help them? Obviously, yes. And imagine there was a rule that you cannot help them unless they ask you, unless they open the channel, unless they actually reach out to you and say, hey, I could really use some guidance right now. I could really use some help. I could use some strength, patience, whatever it is. Would you grant it to them if you had their permission? Obviously. And so if you think about it, our ancestors in the spirit world, they don't have jobs. They don't have to-do lists. Their only job is to make sure, is to continue the success of their own bloodline. But they cannot help unless we reach out, unless we open that channel, unless we show that we are open and willing to accept their help. So if those are the rules, then all it takes every single day is a little bit of appreciation. And that's why I do that. And even though I only spend 5 or 10 minutes doing it in the morning, I can feel them with me all day. And I get signs all day. And I can tell on the days that I haven't done it, there's just something missing inside or something I forgot. And that's usually it. So that's my quick shamanic PSA on reaching out to your ancestors. And some people say, well, it has to be this grand ritual, and it doesn't mean it can't be, but it can be as simple as opening a conversation with somebody as if they were there when you're driving, or you're having a hard day at work, or you're having a hard day parenting and you just need a minute to like breathe and you could use a little bit of help. It could be simple as like, Lord help me. Ancestors help me. You know, my kid's being a little crap, or, you know, my job is being difficult, or maybe you're an entrepreneur or you're a light worker and you know that the challenges are far and wide all the time. So it doesn't hurt to ask, and it doesn't hurt to receive that help. So I hope that helps you guys. If you aren't already communing with your ancestors all the time, I hope that helps give you a little bit of logic and reason behind why it's a functional belief. It's not a matter of right or wrong. It's just, you know, do you want to do life alone, or do you want to do life knowing that you have, you know, other energies conspiring for your success? It's totally up to you. So gratitude. So why did I want to talk about gratitude today? Gratitude's an interesting energy because it seems like it's super easy to hold when everything is going right, when everything's aligning, when money's right, our relationships are right, sun's shining, you know, we're getting all the signs, the numerology signs, all of the messages and downloads, and we're feeling inspired already. And it feels like gratitude's kind of hard to have, maybe when you have a cold or you're going through a challenge. And I've found through my own struggles and practices that gratitude is something that is more valuable when I can have it in a space of challenge. Does that make sense? It kind of shows our character, you know, and I'm speaking from experience, not judging anyone, but it's like, do I turn into a little brat when everything just falls apart? Do I start complaining more? That's usually, whenever I'm complaining, I know I'm not in gratitude. So do I start complaining as soon as things get hard? Or am I still focused on the things that are working and that are good in my life? And I've found that gratitude is not like this magic wand or spell, and you just like wave the wand or you write it out and it's like instantly the beauty or whatever you want manifests. It's almost like gratitude has to be held over time, and then there's a delay in between the time that I practice that intention and the manifestation shows up. So there is a lot of trust and faith and courage that comes along with it. So it is it's a functional energy. It's not right or wrong. It's just, it really makes life a lot easier. So I have a lot to be grateful for. I've had a whole year back in Utah. For a lot of people who don't know, they still think that I live in Washington or that I'm commuting. I've been back in Utah in Eagle Mountain here at Healing Horses Ranch for a year. And we have a teepee and we have a sweat lodge. And I've been serving hape and cacao and guiding journeys. I sold my art for Vibe bottles, so I haven't done that in years. People keep asking me if I have bottles. Haven't had them in years. I gave my decal company away to my son when he turned 18, so I am not making products anymore. This screen print thing is like a side fun thing to get something done, but I'm not making products. I'm literally only spending my time teaching. And I've noticed that in teaching that some people, they don't have the resources, but they need the help. They're looking for support. They're looking for community. They're looking for someone to just like listen to them as they process. And not everyone can afford a therapist or a shaman or a Reiki healer. So that's where the idea of Shaman Church was birthed. It's so easy to just donate an hour a week. And there's no energy exchange. There's no expectation. There's no sales pitch. There's no join my MLM. Don't drink any Kool-Aid. There's no cult, no religion. There will be no sister wives and no giving away of your life's savings. It's literally just the energy exchanges. If you show up for an hour, I'll show up for an hour. That's great. That works for me. And maybe you're one of those people that goes out there and you're a helper, like me, to the point where you're an enabler. And you've given your time and energy to people who don't want to change. And that's okay. I mean, that's still you showing up in service. But it's a lot easier to show up with no expectation to a group of people than it is one-on-one. Because it really is a come and go as you please type of situation. And I would really like it to stay that way. So thank you everybody so much for showing up. I'm going to play some bowls now. This is something where you may want to put on some headphones or get comfortable, close your eyes. And I'm going to move the mic over here because, again, they get kind of loud, even if I play them softly. And just kind of allow yourself a little bit of respite, a little bit of peace and inward journey on this Sunday before you start your week, and sort of cleanse and release the last week. Get yourself ready for this new week. And let's go into this new week with as many loving intentions and high vibrational frequencies as we possibly can. Okay? All right. Mind you, I've only played for private journeys. I've never played in person or in public before, so we'll see how this goes. So first we're going to start off with the root chakra.